Here we will talk about combat a little bit. The general situation is one that can be found in most RPGs, which is we have to go through these deep, dank, ugly canals and fight the big bad boss at the end. In order to do that, of course, we have to get through waves of opponents who try to take us out on the way. We won't get into the story too much in this area because we're really going to be focusing at the moment on how the combat system works, and we'll go through that instead. The first thing that we need to do when we prepare for combat is we need to decide what our environment is going to be like. Since we're going down a dark alley, we're going to drink an elixir of night vision, which allows us to see in the dark. Throughout the game, there will be various situations where preparation is going to be the key to success in battle. Night vision is only one example. There will be other situations where, for example, fire resistance or cold resistance will have a role, and the story in the game will tell the player how to prepare best for the upcoming encounter with an enemy. The meat of the Witcher's combat ability is the use of his two swords. He has a steel sword that is used for mundane opponents, and a silver sword that is used against supernatural enemies, monsters, and the like. Another weapon in the Witcher's arsenal is his ability to cast various magical signs. There are 5 signs in the game, the first of which is the sign of Ard, which we use here. In order to clear paths, this sign can also affect enemies. It will knock them over, and as well as you can see here, it opens doors that are stuck shut. Throughout the game, we will include small cutscenes that foreshadow upcoming events. If this was the real actual game, the player would spend some time wandering through these canals and searching out the enemy that he's looking for. And when they finally reach a place where they're getting close, we would indicate that with this cutscene. The player has a choice of one of 3 combat styles that they can select based on the enemy they're facing. This is another element of preparation for battle and knowledge about the opponent that you will be facing. Finally, the piece that brings it all together is the fact that the player's click initiates a stroke. If the stroke is initiated at the right moment, it becomes part of a sequence, and as the player strings together a sequence with more and more strokes, each of those strokes becomes more powerful and more effective. In addition to strokes, we have the ability to cast power-ups. Power-ups are special moves that the player can initiate while executing a sequence of strokes. These power-ups will have various effects that can be bought during leveling up of the player's character. The player will be able to improve his overall stats, as well as his ability to cast signs, and also his abilities in each of the 2 weapons that he has, and in the various combat styles that he uses. The player has a choice of either raising the level of the stat or the skill, or he can allocate the points to upgrading the current level that he has selected. One of the other elixirs that we have in the game is the Advanced Night Vision Elixir. This elixir actually allows us to see through walls in addition to seeing in the dark, and we can use this in certain situations if we are afraid of an ambush coming up. Of course, elixirs are not free to use. Every time we drink one, our poison level increases, and this is manifested on the screen with blood spots and also bloody heartbeats if you become really poisoned. To finish off the combat demonstration, we're going to use the strong style since our opponent is very large and slow. This is the most effective way of combating him since he is not going to easily be able to dodge our strokes. We will leave the end of this battle for later, as this concludes our demonstration of the combat system in The Witcher.